How do you become a winner, Katie? How do you become a winner? What's the formula to winning?
So we're going to talk about today. It's great.
The formula.
Stack skills.
Stack skills, yeah. That's really what it comes down to. Stacking skills. So guys, shortly, super shortly, we're gonna be ranking the top 6 skills required to build a $1 million business. And this is actually inspired from this weekend. Kitty, what happened this weekend? Did we just like take the weekend off and like sleep in and stay up late and go out and party and then do absolutely zero work and wake up with regrets on Monday morning that I have to go back to work again? Is that what actually happened? That's probably what happened.
Kind of.
Actually.
I mean, we definitely partied, but we just partied with the right people to make us better.
We did party. We did party. Yeah. What did we do this weekend? Who were we partying with?
We partied with 5 of these fellow cleaning business owners in this group. There's a couple people on this call.
Yeah. Yeah. Kristen's on here. Ryan and Autumn are on here. Jocelyn's on here. Yeah. It's awesome, guys. Thank you guys for showing up today. You guys made it back home. Grateful you guys made it back home. And thank you guys so much for showing up today, or for showing up this weekend, because you guys inspired the call today, and it became like, it just became really clear that I think this was the message that like you guys connected with this weekend, and I just figured that the people who are either in the community or maybe even people who are not inside the community, that this would be helpful for you guys to just have clarity on what it actually takes to actually build a $1 million business. And yeah, so Katie, should we get started here? Should we get started talking about the 6 personal skills required?
Yeah, before we get started though, let me tell you a little story because I think it's hilarious. I think there's a lot of I don't even know, like perception around being a business owner and business owners not working. And there's like this fake idea that I want to have a business so I don't have to work. And it's quite the opposite, actually. Being a business owner, like it sucks because you get paid less per hour and you have to work more than you ever would as an employee. And I think a lot of people have this, like we had a 28-day challenge application come in that the reason why she wanted coaching was so she didn't have to work. It's like, that's not going to work.
Which, by the way, I don't see that as that person being anything wrong with it outside of just uninformed. And so like I will gladly talk to that person and I will help them just understand what it actually takes, and then ultimately give them the decision to choose. Is like, if you want to have a business that works, eventually without your presence, it first starts by giving it, that business, everything, more than what you currently have. And I think that is the sequence. And even when you have a business that can operate without you, it will never exist without you. Ever. And so business is like a child. Like even when it grows up and out of the house, like it's still your child. Right? You just have taught the child more skills. And that's actually great. And that's exactly what growing a business is if you actually teach your office staff, the people who are going to operate the business, more skills, then like it needs less of your attention, but you're still ultimately responsible.
That was great.
Yeah, I thought I just came off. That was an accident. Oops. But yeah, I think that's really what this call is for, guys. Is like there is a lot of marketing out there that will sell you that it's easy, and that doing a remote cleaning business, or doing any sort of cleaning business, or doing a local home cleaning business, or just doing any business in general, that like you can get there without doing work. I've never experienced that. All the people who are successful inside our community, like they all work their asses off. They work very hard.
And then they come crying and they say, we can't do it. And we say, yes, you can, do more.
Yeah. And so I really think that like the base of this call, if you go back and listen to every single 80, 90, I don't know, I think this is like call number 90 now at this point. But like my goal of every single call is to set an expectation that this is going to be challenging. It's going to be hard. In order for you to build a $1 million business, you're going to have to do what 93% of people won't do. And if you're not willing to sacrifice what the 93% or what the 7% are willing to sacrifice, then like be okay with staying in the 93%. Stay okay with your business staying where it's at. $5,000 a month, $10,000 a month, $20,000 a month. Because what's required to grow your business from 20 to 40, from 40 to 60 to 60 to 80 is sacrifice. It's learning skills. And we're going to talk about the top 6 skills that are required in order for you to build a $1 million business. Right? And I'll tell you where these 6 skills came from. It came from my observation of helping 6 cleaning businesses as of this point, as of right now. We'll see what happens at the end of this month. They're going to add a couple more. But I've helped 6 people go from 0 to over $1 million. Not easy, by the way. Not easy. And so I look at those 6 humans and I start to see some similarities in those 6 humans. And then this weekend when we did Deck in a Day, we talked about personal skills as one of the requirements in order for people to build a $1 million business. And so what I did is I took the top 6. So just as a reference point, and for all you guys who did Deck in a Day, you guys will know that there's actually 12, but I just took the top 6. And I think these are the top 6, and not in order of importance. Please pay attention to this, but in order of sequence. Okay. And so when you guys are listening today, like this is a real blueprint, because these skills all intertwine with each other in a sense that it's like this is skill set number 1, and this is number 2, and number 3, number 4, number 5, number 6 in sequence. Okay. And one of the things that I shared with the group who came out today, and also the people who came out, all the previous people who come out to Deck in a Day in the group setting, and even people who come out in the individual setting, is like, I just have like so much respect for each and every one of you for making the decision to invest in yourself, to get yourselves on a freaking plane, spend money to come out here, being taken away from your environment, from your family, spouses, kids, your environment, your businesses, to be able to go learn on how to make your business better. But really, it wasn't about making your business better. It was about making you better. And in turn, that made your business better. And so right now, we're in the process of doing a 20-day challenge for new people to come into the community. This is something we're just started. And I told the story Deck in a Day, but it's challenging me because I tend to get frustrated because I want it more than somebody else does. And that makes me upset. I'm like, I could help you grow your freaking business, but they don't want it. And I was telling the story of Deck in a Day as using the steer model as an example. And so the situation is the person doesn't want it. They're like, I'll just continue to do your free stuff. My biggest competitor, guys, is my free shit. Your free stuff is so good, I don't need to pay you money. I'm like, damn it. But it makes me really appreciate the Autumn Ryans, the Kristens, the Jacintas, the Julias, Jessica Lucases, the Renee Krauses, the Jocelyn's, right? All you guys who actually have committed and shown your commitment with your actions that you really want to grow a $1 million business. And so the very first skill we're talking about today, Katie, is what? What do all these people have that most people just, they don't have? What is this skill set? This is number 1, guys. This is where it all starts.
Courage, which is defined as acting in the presence of fear.
What stops people from moving forward is this. It's fear. And we've been trained to respond to fear with inaction, not doing, not moving forward. I'm afraid. What happens when you stop moving forward, Katie?
Your fear becomes real.
Yeah. At each check-in a day, I've told the story when my first 3 years in business. So I actually had a gym. I had a gym I started it in December of 2013. And from 2014 to 2017, my business made $135,000 in 3 years, which equates to less than $50,000 a year, which equates to less than $5,000 a month for 3 years. And in 2017, I came in contact with this handsome young fellow named Alex Hormozy. And he said, Logan, I have a system that's specifically for your type of gym that I can fill it up in 30 days. I was like, dude, I've been trying to fill my gym up for 3 years and I'm at $5,000 a month. I literally have 12, I think I had 12 clients or 20 clients. I don't know, not very many clients. He's like, Logan, I've done this with my gyms and I've also helped other people. Look, here's the proof. And I saw the proof and I was like, okay, I see the proof, but bro, I'm scared. I was like, what if it doesn't work? I remember, like, this is the part that I don't tell every time in the story, but I was like, what if it doesn't work? He was like, Logan, if it doesn't work, I will fly out there and I will do it for you. I was like, okay, that's fair. And so I had all the proof in the world, all the evidence in the world. And it was still the most scary ass decision I've ever made up to that point in my life. I had to give this guy $10,000. Guy I met from the internet. $10,000, guys. That was 2 months of revenue. that was 3 years of profit. It was big. It was big. I was scared. But Katie, what did I do? And you were there. You were there when I did it. What did I do?
You sacrificed everything else, and which brings us into skill number 2, is you sat there and you learned everything that you could from the system that he provided you.
Yeah. So again, guys, we understand that courage is the spark. It's like what it just gets you to say yes, right? And the yes, that decision right there, it was the most important decision I made, not because of what the outcome of that circumstance was, because it taught me to have courage. It taught me to say yes to things when I felt bad, when I felt uncomfortable, when I felt scared. I learned how to move towards that rather than away from it. And that's where courage begins, is in the presence of fear.
What's the background on your computer say?
I cannot lose. I can't lose if I don't quit.
Yeah, so when you're afraid prior to this Alex Hormozy phone call, you're failing right now. You're definitely failing. You're not succeeding. So you can not say yes and you can still fail, or you can say yes and have the opportunity to succeed. All courage is just an opportunity to succeed.
Yeah. One of the things also, before we move to skill number 2, was with everybody who came to Deck in a Day, they had actually all been part of previous coaching programs before. And there were, and 4 of the 5 people were in the same coaching program. And that coaching program, it didn't elicit the end result they're looking for. However, there was some positives that they got from that program. But you could tell that a couple of people had just a little bit of a bitterness towards that first coaching program that they were part of. And so I gave them a reframe from my experience and what I actually see to be as a more realistic version of reality is that just because that coaching program didn't work out as you saw it in that moment, like it led you to this specific opportunity where you had the awareness, you had skill sets that you learned from that coaching program that you could then apply into this coaching program. And once you saw something that worked, it was very clear why it worked versus why that one didn't work. And so there's a lot of value in also doing things that don't work. And so, like, what I've actually believed, what I've taught myself is that a bad investment in an asset, which is assets are, I consider things that have a high probability of making me more money, which coaching is one of those things. Like a bad investment in coaching is still better than what most people feel comfortable buying, which are liabilities. I feel really good about buying a new car. I feel really good about increasing my rent or buying a new house. I feel really good about going on a trip. All things that are guaranteed not to ever make you more money, but I feel more comfortable doing it. More comfortable than I do investing in a skill set that could change my life forever. Because if I would not have invested $10,000 with Alex, I would have not have made $50,000 30 days later. It was just a small decision. I could have said no. It would have been very easy to say no. And that small yes, that small bit of courage led to success right on the other end of it. But like that's just it's compared to what that decision led to today, it's like it's almost embarrassing to say I was afraid. But I was. I cried. I thought it was like the most insane thing that a person could ever do. Like it didn't make logical sense at the time. And it's because I didn't have perspective. I actually didn't know. And so when people hesitate to invest in themselves, whether it's coaching, whether it's marketing, whether it's hiring, whether it's just having money leave with the expectation that it might never come back. Like, I get you. I feel you. And I also have done it so many times now that it also can like give you perspective that you don't currently have, which I think is the value of coaching. Is like, no matter, even if it's a bad investment, it's still better than you not making the investment. It's still better than you going on a trip, buying a car, things that you've done before that you feel comfortable doing. And so it's actually trying to retrain your brain to feel comfortable investing in assets and make you feel scared to invest in liabilities. And it's just a change in mindset. So skill number one, courage. Gotta have courage. Okay. And Katie led to it. After we have the courage, then it puts us in a situation to do what, Katie? Once we have the courage, what can we do now?
Learn.
Learn. And what is the definition of learning?
When you learn something, it's the same condition paired with a new behavior.
And so learning, it basically takes your mistakes and takes them and it puts you and it allows you to change your direction. Okay. And so what learning does, it allows us to receive feedback and continue to make progress moving forward rather than doing circles, doing like this, right? And so that is personal skill number 2 is learning. And one of the biggest mistakes I see people make is they say the words, I know, I know, I know. How many of you guys have kids? I know, I know, I know, I know, I know, I know. Like, I know is a period. It's like, tell me more. What does that mean? That's where learning starts. And the people who I see on this call specifically, like the Julia Callahans, like the Kaylas, Kayla Hollenbach, like learning is a personal skill required in order for you to build a $1 million business. Because if you think, I know, I can tell you based on the evidence and the proof, you don't know because you don't have $1 million business. So why would you say I know? Now, someone like Julia Callahan now has $1 million business, but she still asks questions. I just had a call with her this morning, still asking questions, still like curious, still learning. business is going to do over $100,000 this month. Started 14 months ago. Courage, learning. Two things. Kale Hollenbeck started her business 6 months ago. It's going to hit $40,000 this month. How's that happen? Courage, learning, right? Those are just the two people who I can see on here who have made really good progress as of recent, okay? And then Katie referenced this. So as we're learning, we run into the third personal skill that's required. And this one is where, we start to see, this starts to become a separator skill. So this is the real separation. Katie, what is this? What is this number 3 personal skill required to build a $1 million business?
Yeah, this one is self-control. So when we learn, our emotions come with us to learn. And learning doesn't feel good all the time because we think we know. Internally, we do know, which protects our ego and actually doesn't allow us to learn. So learning doesn't feel good in the moment. And sometimes when it doesn't feel good in the moment, we don't align our actions with our goals, and rather we align our actions with our feelings. So self-control is when we, regardless of emotion, regardless of feeling, we put that feeling in our little purse with us and we carry it with us, and we still align in our actions with our goals, even when it doesn't feel good.
So if we understand this from a sequence standpoint, guys, again, like these are ordered in, not in importance, but in sequence. We have courage. That's what gets us the whole thing going. Got to have courage. And then we got to be willing to learn. We got to get rid of the I knows. We got to get rid of the assumptions. We got to get rid of the expectations that you should, woulda, da, and just say, like, teach me, boss, right? And then once we understand what we need to do, we're like, oh, I don't want to call the leads once, let alone call them again, let alone call them a third time. I don't want to turn marketing up. I just turned it up. I got to turn it up again. I got to send another text message. Now this is the next part of the sequence is now we know what to do. Now are you willing to do it? And Kate referenced this earlier, this is where a lot of coaching clients come to calls crying. They come with like these feelings. And this is where we're able to help people because again, you're humans, I'm human. And this is the value of being able to talk with somebody about what we need to do versus what we want to do. And then just deciding, do we want to align our actions with our goals or with our feelings? I don't feel like making phone calls. Well, do you want to have $1 million business? Yes. Well, then what action is going to help you get to $1 million business? Making phone calls. Okay, cool. Well, you say you want $1 million business. Show me. Show me. This morning, Julia and I on our call, and we are just giving her a little bit of love for her business being on pace to do $100,000 this month. And she's like, Logan, like anybody can do this. I was like, I don't think I'm special. She's like, I think anybody can do this. And like, it just like gets her excited to like want to help more people. And that's, awesome. And I was like, Julie, you're right and you're wrong. In that like everything that is within the system is something that can be learned. But the difference is in like your self-control, your willingness to just do it, even when you don't feel like doing it. And that's why you have gone from 0 to 100 in 14 months. Same thing with Kayla, the reason why you've gone from 0 to almost 40,000 in 6 months. Like you're just willing to do what's required despite how you feel. Because you guys can look at Julia, her face is on here. Kayla, you can look on here. You can ask in the chat, like, has it felt good? Does it even feel good right now? Does it feel good to have a $100,000 a month business? Julia, does it feel good? Elia's on here too. Like, Elia, is it easy? Does it feel good to have a $100,000 a month business? And so back what I want to share with you guys in the beginning of this whole thing is like, I just want to set a proper expectation of what's required to build a $1 million business. And I'll never tell you it's easy. I will tell you it's simple, but it's not easy. It's simple. If you can just do what's required day in and day out by having the self-control to just make the decision that you're just going to do whatever it takes to grow the business, despite your feelings, despite what the outside world says, despite what somebody who doesn't have a $1 million business tries to tell you to do. somebody in the community reached out to me and went to a Alex Hormozy workshop, and they're like, they told me that I should have a 40% COGS. I was like, how many of them at this Alex Hormozy workshop have built $1 million home cleaning businesses? He's like, well, none of them, but one of them did an HVAC or a roofing company. I was like, sounds like good advice for an HVAC or roofing company. Like, you guys, a home cleaning business is unique in itself. It's different. Like, you're not gonna get 40% COGS. Zero chance. Zero chance. And that lies the value. Like, you guys, again, like some of you guys get this, and this was cool because a decade a day, one of the comments, like almost the consistent thing when we were talking about like how they got here, I was like, how'd you guys get here? Always just curious. Like, we watched all your free stuff. And one of the common themes was like, your free stuff was so good. I was like, I wonder what the paid stuff actually is like. Right? And I think what is important to understand is like the paid stuff is actually better. But you know what's, it's hard to make free stuff really good if you don't actually know how to like continue to go down the road. And like, this is where like at this point, right now, our business is on track to do $2.6 million. Like, that's over $200,000 a month. And so like what you guys get for free right here is very, very rare. It's very, very rare. But the fact that it's for free, sometimes people like don't give it value, which by the way is totally fine. And some people do give it value. Sometimes they give it more value than the paid stuff. But what's important for you guys to understand is like, this is what it takes. Like, we are just sharing with you guys exactly what we're doing with our businesses and what we're coaching other businesses on. And we're just we're just telling you what exactly we're doing. And so for you guys can like choose to believe that this is a path. It's not the only path, but it's a path to get there. Or if you want to continue to believe that there's an easier way, there's got to be an easier way. There's got to be a hack.
When you find it, come tell me, please.
Yeah. And then if you find it, show me. Grow your $1 million business with this hack and then come show me. Because then I'll believe you. I've never met a business more successful than me that doesn't work harder than I do. Every single person that I've ever met is more successful than me. They work way harder than I do. And I'm just trying to work as hard as they do. And that doesn't mean me personally. I'm just trying to put systems. I'm trying to leverage people. I'm trying to get more outputs. And sometimes that requires me in the short term so I can figure out how to have somebody else be or a person or a process to be able to get the leverage. But it always involves me first. Always involves me learning how to get better first.
On the contrary to that, a lot of the Decade in a Day people that came out this last weekend also commented about how hard it is when family members, friends, why do you work so hard? Why don't you take weekends off? And they already have an internal dialogue that is hard to overcome with the self-control. But when it's compounded by all of these people saying, it's too much, like you should take a break, it can really weigh on the ability to act despite those feelings. Like, my advice is always, would you switch places with somebody in your financial situation? Would you trade your financial situation for their financial situation? Yeah. And if you would, maybe it's good advice. But if you would not, question whether or not you give credit to the advice that you're receiving.
Yeah. Cool. Okay. So again, we're ranking our top 6 personal skills in sequence and what's required to build a $1 million business. Number 1, we have courage. Okay. Number 2, we have learning. Number 3, we have self-control. Number 4, Katie, what's number 4? After we have the courage to learn and we have the self-control to be able to control our actions, what's number 4?
We have to stay consistent. We have to continue to do the inputs required, even when it's boring, even when it's hard, even when there's no proof that it's working.
Consistency. This was one of the things that like I really connected with this weekend as well, is that like a lot of you guys have businesses that have worked at one point and then it stopped working. And it had nothing to do with the business and everything to do with you and your inability to continue to do the work. And so that's why personal skill number 6 is consistency. And a lot of times it's your distractions that happen outside of the business almost all the time. It's distractions you have outside your business that keeps you from being consistent inside the business. So this could be a home situation, could be a spouse situation, it could be a kid situation, it could be your financial situation. But these are all very common things that will distract you, that will take your attention from being able to do the inputs required to be consistent inside your business, so you can consistently just add clients and add cleaners. Your ability to be consistent is the thing that won't just make you successful, but it actually does the most important piece, which is keep you successful. The analogy that I love to use when I was in the fitness industry was, how many of you guys have ever been marketed a plan to lose a certain amount of weight? 5, 10, 15, 20 pounds, right? How many of you guys have been marketed to lose weight? How many of you guys have been marketed to keep your same weight? Maintain. Hey guys, you spend $500 and I'll help you keep your same body weight for the rest of your life.
Never.
Which one's more important? In sequence. And so it's one step to get to $1 million in revenue. But if you want to stay there, it's consistency. It's one step to lose 20 pounds, but consistency will keep you there. It's one skill set to stack $100,000 in your bank account, but it's the consistency that will keep the money there. Skill set number 4, consistency. Doing what works, even when it's boring. Okay, so we have courage to get us started. We have learning to figure out what we need to do. We have the self-control to do what's required, even when we don't feel like it. We have the consistency because we don't want to just be successful, but we want to stay successful. And then Katie, what's personal skill number 5?
Discipline.
Define it. What is discipline?
Doing what is required long before it is rewarded.
What does that mean? That's a good definition.
That means that your business is probably not going to be $1 million business tomorrow or next month, or maybe even in 6 months. But can you stay consistent long enough and disciplined long enough to reap the reward?
I think the best example I see is like somebody will start running a Facebook ad and they're 3 days in and they're like, oh, I'm not getting enough leads. And then, well, just keep spending money. That's really what your action is when you're marketing. You're just like, don't turn the money off. And then all of a sudden you're getting leads and you're like, they're not converting. And so the action is keep calling them. I'm calling, they're not answering. Call them again. Call them twice. Call them every day for 14 days. Okay, I got a hold of somebody. And then I said, no. All right. Ask them again. Okay, I asked them twice and they said no again. Okay, ask them again. They said yes. And that's what discipline is, guys. It's continuing to do what's required long before you get the reward of the yes, long before you get the revenue to go up, long before you get an ROI on the money that just out. Like, you got to just actually do the work. This is where most people quit. Their expectations are, it should be easy. I should be rich now. People shouldn't tell me no. I should be able to get a 5-to-1 ratio on my marketing. Your discipline is what keeps you doing the thing long enough in order for your efficiency to get better. So, definition of discipline, doing what's required long before it's rewarded. That is the 5th personal skill required to build a $1 million business. Okay, so we have the courage, get started, learning to figure out what we need to do, self-control to do it, even when we don't feel like it, the consistency to keep doing it, even when it's no longer exciting, the discipline to do it, even when we're not getting reinforced for it. And then number 6, Katie, what's the 6th personal skill required to build a $1 million business?
It is persistence. And that is defined as, in this realm, continuing forward even when improvement stalls.
Yeah. How many of you guys think that your business should just go like this? It should be a linear game of progress. Like every single month you should get better. Yeah? Yeah. Yeah. When you're first getting started. But after you've been in business for a couple of years, like you're not going to go up every single month. You're going to face a time in your business where your progress stalls. And not just stalls, it's going to go backwards. One of the things that I commented on this group who came to Deck in a Day, I was like, the thing that gives me a lot of confidence in you guys is every single one of you guys have had your businesses go up, and every single one of you guys have crashed back down. Every single one of you. And the value in that is you get humbled really quick. Because in business, if you think that like your success is 100% attributed to you and that you can't go backwards and you can't lose, that naiveness, it's going to hurt. Like it's going to hurt. It's going to hurt. And having the humility to realize that like your business can very much go away real quickly. Also will keep you humble enough to do the first 5 things that are required. And that's really what persistence is having the humility to understand that like your business isn't going to go up forever. And that when you have a plateau in your business, it's not just because it's time for a plateau or it's that season of the year. Like there's something a behavior that a skill set that you're lacking or something that you're not doing in order for the business to continue to grow. Like it's a you thing. And so that's where like this cycle, it actually turns all the way back around. Again, so Katie, you want to use your analogy that you have down here?
Yeah. So skill number 1 is courage. That gets us started. Learning refines our process. Self-control gives us direction. It directs where we're going. Consistency compounds it. Discipline sustains our growth. And persistence allows us to endure through the ebbs and flows of growth, which brings us all the way back to courage as the next skill set needed to attain emerges its head.
This is like a full cycle, guys. And this is why I was sharing with you guys earlier about the decision to invest the $10,000 into Gym Launch, into Alex's system, is like that decision itself to this day is actually very minuscule in the presence of like $50,000. Like it's not as meaningful today as it was back then. But that decision filter of having the courage and then going through the rest of those steps all the way back around to like seeing the next opportunity to then make another courageous decision, like that has been the thing that has been the most helpful skill to date for me, is just continuing to invest in assets, even when they don't pay off right away. Even when I spend money and no money comes back immediately. And so this cycle, I believe is like, if you can master this cycle, you can grow $1 million business.
How many of you guys have had multiple cleaners leave in a short period of time? That was like my first real experience with this cycle. Was like, that's when I wanted to quit. I was like, I am done. I do not want to do this anymore. It's too hard. I had every excuse in the book. And that's where the cycle begins again. You have to have the courage to go out there to understand that like you suck at leading, and it's not the cleaner's fault. It's not that they weren't able to fulfill the cleans that they had. You can't blame them. If you blame them, you actually give the power to them, which means that you are powerless in making a change to learn something and do better next time to actually sustain growth the next time. It takes courage to hire more people than you have work for. And some of us are faster learners than others. Some of us will have the same condition and paired with new behavior immediately the second time. Sometimes it takes me, I'm a knucklehead. It's great. It takes me a little bit longer to learn things. We've had like, I think 4 mass exoduses now between our 2 companies.
No. Well, sometimes it's also like you might change your behavior, but that behavior still doesn't elicit the result. So like we've actually changed our behavior, it just hasn't been the right behavior change. So that's why learning can sometimes be confusing. It's, I'm changing my behavior, but I'm still getting the same results. Cool. Keep changing your behavior until you get the result you're looking for. And so back to the expectation. I should only have to change my behavior once or twice or 3 times or 4 times. And you should just expect you have to change your behavior enough times to get the end result. Like to me, that's the actual belief that I actually have, is like, I will just do whatever it takes in order to get the result. Sometimes I get lucky. Like here's one example, guys. I'll give you an example where I did get lucky. Like anybody who uses the free cleaning voucher funnel, that is the very first funnel that I set up back in October of 2020. The same offer, everything on there is the same as we run it today. Like, got lucky. Like, it still works today. It still works today. I think it's one of the few things that it hasn't changed in the last 5 years. Now, how we fulfill on that offer has changed 5 different times. Like, there's 5 different ways on how we fulfill a free cleaning voucher. That has changed completely. The script, we just updated a brand new script again a couple weeks ago when we started adding the recurring client offer in there. And the recurring client offer has been a freaking game changer. Oh my gosh. Like, that has been a game changer. And so, like, most of the time, guys, like, learning is hard because you could do a different behavior and you still get the same outcome. And you just have to keep doing a different behavior until you get the outcome you're looking for. And then sometimes you actually get lucky. And I think that sometimes that is one of the worst things that can happen, because you don't learn anything from success. You only learn from your mistakes. You only learn from failure. And sometimes what people learn from their success is that their shit don't stink, that they're the man, that they're so good, that they got the magic touch, the Midas touch, all these other things. And like, I just have never seen that to be true from people who are more successful than me. I've never heard one person who's actually more successful than I am who ever said any of those things. And back to what Katie said, like, I only take advice from people who have more money in the bank account than I do. I shouldn't say I only do, but I have a lot of respect for people who do, and I will strongly consider their opinions in that sense. But I actually do learn from people who have less money in the bank account than I do. And I'm just like, I see why you don't have money in your bank account. And I actually will just confirm that I will stop doing that thing, like spending more money on liabilities, as an example, right? So you can learn from both. And that's why I pulled that back. You can learn what to do from people who are ahead of you, but you can also learn what not to do from the people who are around you or who have a worse financial situation than you do. Like, you should be able to learn from both people. Okay. Okay. Yeah. There's a question inside here I thought was really good. Someone asked, Like, are we working more now compared to when we first started our cleaning business? Kid, why don't you, I know you kind of offered that as a comment in here.
Yeah. So I think from a capacity standpoint, from working in
So
the
define,
business,
okay, so let's go back to defining things. Like when we say
okay.
working more, we can talk about hours. So I think that's what most people think about. They talk about hours. We'll use the unit as hours. Are you working more in your cleaning business today than you were working in Bozeman 5-star cleaning when it first started?
No,
Are you working more in Mesa 5-star cleaning today than when it first started?
no,
Okay. From a number of hours standpoint, right?
correct.
Now, do you work more today in general than when you started Bozeman 5-star cleaning 5 years ago?
Yes.
Do you work more today than when you started Mesa 5-star cleaning 20 months ago?
Yes.
Cool. I think that's important, guys, because we work less from an hour standpoint in each of the individual businesses, but we work a lot more. And the reason why we work a lot more is because we have more skills, we have more leverage, and we get reinforced for working. When you make more money, you're like, I want to do more of that. And then you do more of that and you make more money. Back to the consistency. If you just do what works, even when it's boring, you grow. And that's the key to success, is like the success is simple. Tyler, you said it really good up here. It's complex, not complicated, right? And if you can make it simple and you're just like, these are the inputs required every single week, and you can just do it every single week, like it becomes very mechanical, very predictable. And when you have, so it takes a lot of work to get to a predictable system. And then once the work is there, then you just like, how do I just continue to do the same thing over and over again? And it's not, and here's the second level of it. Once everybody gets to $60,000 a month, this was one of the big things we talked about a decade and a day as well, is like the different seasons in the sequence. I was like, the goal is for you to work really hard, understand how to grow the business, have proof that you can grow the business, and how I will give you an arbitrary number. It's $60,000 a month. Like once you get the business $6,000 a month, you have undeniable proof. You know how to grow a business from 0 to 60. Like that's good. That's good. But the next skill set is then, can you teach somebody else how to do what you just did? And then they can grow the business from 60 to 80 to 80 to 100. And it's really cool because I use Jessica and Lucas as examples quite a bit. And so they got their business to $83,000 as Lucas working in the business. And then Jessica actually was outside the business. She was actually just kind of basically coaching Lucas. And then they brought a second office person in. And at that point, then they both became coaches to the business. And both Jessica and Lucas, for the last, I think it's been six-ish months since they've actually hit their first $83,000 a month. They've been coaching their office staff on how to grow the business. But they've kind of been hovering in this $80,000, $85,000, $90,000 a month range. And then this weekend, they sent me a screenshot where high probably like that they're projected to hit 100,000 this month, which is really cool because of two things. Like $100,000 a month is like pretty cool. But what I was telling them today, what's even cooler is that they've been able to transfer their skill set of doing to teaching. Because you know how many sales that Jessica and Lucas have done? You know how many cleaners that they've hired or one-on-ones they've done? How many interactions they've had with client complaints? Like what they do on an hour-to-hour basis is very small, but their impact they have in their company is very, very big, because their job is to coach it to office people on how to do the client sales, how to do the cleaner one-on-ones. And that's what they're doing. Now, does that take a lot of time? No. But does it take a lot of thought? Does it take a lot of attention? Does it take a lot of problem solving? Does it take a lot of them? Absolutely. And it takes a lot of like not jumping back in and doing the thing. That's actually also what it does. A skill set in itself.
It's a lot easier to jump back in and do it because you have the skill.
Yeah, because you want to be the solution, but I will yell at you to tell you that you don't want to be the solution. You want to provide the solution. And that's how you're able to actually, if you can do this one time, Katie and I are showing you guys firsthand that you can do it twice. Okay. Parenting is the exact same thing, Tyler. I love this, right? It's always an example I use. Like, we talked about this weekend too. Is like, the goal is not to create entitled kids. It's not to do things for your kids. It's to empower your kids by teaching them skills. And this is actually where Katie and I have previously, like we've had a lot of resistance on this one, right? Because Katie very much is like, let me help you, let me do it for you. I want to feel fulfilled by being needed. I'm like, you're hurting them. You're hurting them by not letting them feel pain, by not letting them experience a no, a rejection. All the things required to grow a business, guys, like this is why most of us struggle with business, is because our parents kept us from facing failure, from facing rejection, instead of encouraging it. And that's why I have so much confidence in my youngest daughter, Lainey, because like she's sold, because that's all she knows. I'm like Lainey, what's required to be successful? Gotta make mistakes, right? And every time that she makes a mistake, it's not a negative thing. It's not finger pointing. I was like, okay, what did we learn from it? Okay, cool, good job. Now let's go do different behavior. So we're not rewarding the mistake, but we're rewarding the fact that now we're talking about what it was and what we can do differently to try to get the outcome we're looking for. And it becomes it becomes part of the process.
It's like removing yourself from the being needed to being just, I am valuable to you because I will help you walk through this cycle of courage, learning, self-control, consistency, discipline, and persistence.
Yeah. One of the other comments that was made at this Tech In today too was, one of the gals was like, she's like, I thought it was just like, it was crazy that like these guys have $1 million businesses and they're actually just like sharing what they're doing. And she's like, I don't know if I would do that. But I'll tell you guys why, because I also think a lot of people have those questions. And it's because like my goal is not $1 million. Like I have much bigger goals. Like our goal is to have a $5 million business by the end of next year. And then after that, we have goals to double that in the next couple of years. And so like, I will tell you guys exactly what we're doing to get to $1 million, because I'm trying to get to 10. And what I believe is that the more I can help you guys get to $1 million, then if I can just duplicate that 10 different times, like that is at least one path I can get there. But what if I could get to $2 million just 5 times? What if I could get to 3.33 million 3 times? And so I'm just trying to give myself as many opportunities as I can to get to 10 million. But worst case scenario, if I can have coached 6 people to get to $1 million, so really I'm very confident that if I just started 8 more businesses, I could probably get to $1 million. I could probably get to $10 million by having 10 $1 million businesses. And so that's the truth. Like, I just believe that the more I can help you guys get there, then it just forces me to also learn how to get to $2 million to $3 million. And I just have bigger goals than $1 million. Right? So, but I'm also not going to sell you guys on a $10 million cleaning business when I only have a $2 million business, right?
So are you saying that you actually go through these personal skill cycles as well?
Every freaking day. Almost. And honestly, when I say that, I don't mean that in jest. It's just like now, like it almost happens every single day just because we have so many
Opportunities.
We have so many opportunities that, and also guys, like just so you know, like sometimes it is the courage to say no. It is like, we do say no to a lot of things. But it's also saying yes to things. So it's yes and no. And that's like the other side of like, once you have success, then you actually get more opportunities. And then sometimes it actually takes courage to say no to things.
As an example, it takes courage to say no to your kids or your family when you have to sacrifice them to actually go invest time in the business and growing it.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll tell you where I have the courage, where I say no a lot. And it's to people who try to join our coaching program. And it was funny because 2 people at Deck in a Day were like, that's where they're like, I just have a lot of trust in you because the first time I came to you, like you told me no. And like, just so you guys know, like, it's not easy. Like, and I told everybody this there because I was like, don't get it twisted. Like, I like money just as much as anybody else does. I just prioritize my reputation over money. And I realized that like, if I sell you something and I can't give you a return on it, then like, you're probably not going to buy the second thing. And that's not going to lead you to us having a good relationship. And like, I just prioritize our relationship over that short-term money. And so I take it upon myself that if I can't make you money, then I'll let you know. And if it's a me thing, then I will try to fix me. Or if it's a you thing, then I'll tell you what you need to do in order for me to be able to take your money. And that's really what it comes down to. Like when people try to join the 20-day challenge as an example, I was like, I just tell them, here is what I believe as the highest probability of you making return on the money that you give to me. And as long as I think that you can get a return on this, I'm more than happy to accept your money. If not, like I do take a lot of people know. Katie does too, like when Katie does these calls. And it takes courage, guys. It takes courage to say no, because like we have expenses just like any other human being does. However, when you put the relationship and your reputation above money, there's a piece to that, and there's also a attractiveness to that you actually help build trust through sometimes saying no. And so it's almost like in one of our pipeline stages that we have, the no for nows, like it's just no for now. Just no for now, right? And so if we can just focus on long term rather than the short term, I think we'd make better decisions. And I think that was one of the messages that I talked about to Kristen and Autumn and Ryan this weekend, was like, if we can just make decisions based on where we're going to be rather than where we are today, like you make a lot better decisions. So guys, super appreciate you guys for showing up today. All you guys who are part of the community, appreciate you guys. Like, thank you guys for this opportunity to be able to help you, for being able to like learn these 6 skill sets from you guys. Like these all came from you guys. You know, some of you guys are superstars. Super excited to see all the PRs from this month. I know there's quite a few PRs coming. A couple more plaques I think are going to be coming our way this month.
And there's still 5 days.
And there's still 5 days. I know, it's crazy. It's crazy. Yeah, and if you guys are not inside the coaching program, James will drop the link for the 20-day challenge. And we got a few spots opening up for this week. We just had some people graduate last week. I think Dimitri's on here. He's one of the people who graduated, so it's cool to see, and cool to see you on here as well. And also like all you guys in the community, you guys are commenting on Dimitri's posts and you guys are helping him out. And like if you guys, so here's a hack. Like Katie and I talk about this, like us coaching you guys is like one of the biggest hacks that we get, because like it accelerates our learning. Like when you guys see new people come in, like coach them. It'll be a hack for you to get better, to be able to teach somebody, like just as a side note. And that's why Lucas is where he is, because like he's been coaching for free for 1.5 years, and now he's actually getting paid to coaching clients. And like that's why his acceleration of his current business is now starting to grow, is because he's getting reps. And so you guys can also coach for free. You guys can help people, like be helpful. And the more helpful you are, the more you actually learn. So thank you guys so much. Happy freaking Monday. And man, I am so grateful for you guys. I'll just show my gratitude by continuing to show up. And if you guys continue to get value from it, then you guys keep showing up too. And just thank you guys. Happy Monday.
Bye-bye.
See you guys next week.